Today is Tuesday, the 4th of November 2025, and this is papertrail.com. It's a daily streaming all about compliance in the UK for the SME and the mid-market firms. Last week, we spoke about the hidden cost of duplications, and this week we'll go further with the supplier due diligence, sanction screening, and keeping evidence audit ready all year round from the risk perspective, right? So today's topic is, are you overlooking this critical step in sanctions screening? And what is that step? Reasoning. And don't worry about the acronyms or the terms. I'm going to explain all of them during the streaming. And as a disclaimer, this is not a complete guide, although I'll focus in reviewing three main problems. So without further ado, let's dig into it. Problem number one, many teams search a name and save a screenshot, and the Office of Financial Sanctions Implementation, or the OFSI, expect you to assess ownership control and document your rationale. Problem number two, sector guidance warns about circumvention red flags, which is routing, new intermediaries, etc., etc. So ignoring the pattern is a risk decision you can't defend later. And problem number three is regulators and professional bodies expect risk-based processes, not one-off checks. So let me recap three things that you have to bear in mind when these problems. The key words are: you have to assess ownership, you have to make a risk decision, and you have to have, or you're expected to have a risk-based process. So this is a very significant problem for UK and SMEs and mid-market companies, because probably you don't have in-house the expertise or the teams or the personnel to do these kind of things. So let's explore solutions for this. Let me explain this as a simple metaphor. If you are checking the front door nameplate, you are already in the lighter zone. You had to look at who is holding the keys around the back of the house, right? So I spoke yesterday about personnel with significant control and ultimate beneficial owners and suppliers to steer. So if you want to dig deeper into those things, go into yesterday's streaming that is in my LinkedIn profile or YouTube, and you will find it. So here are three points to consider to solve this problem. Number one, use the UK sanctions list and the Office of Financial Sanctions Implementation search app. So you have to log the legal name, identifiers, date and time, list version, and your ownership control reasoning, right? So this is something that had to come from you, is the reasoning. And if there is a near matches, meaning that actually it's not exactly the same, just escalate those. Solution number two, adopt a cadence. And we always talk about a cadence, which is a recurrent event in the calendar. So rescreen higher risk suppliers quarterly. And if you have a lower risk suppliers, you can rescreen them annually. But record no hits with source and timestamp. So it's a no hit, you have to record that too. And solution number three is to avoid this pitfall, is treating no direct match as clearance. You have to document why indirect control does or does not apply and referencing to the guidance, right? So there are problems, there are solutions, this whole process, but it's too complicated. As I mentioned, this particularly for SMEs and mid-market companies, there are no dedicated teams or officials or personnel to do this work or run them in the company, all these compliance requirements. And bear in mind that this is one out of the 16 frameworks required of any UK company. So you have many others like health and safety, DVCA for fleet management, GDPR, cyber essentials, and the list goes on. So there is no wonder that 73% of the UK companies outsource and hire consultants or advisors, according to a PwC report this year. So what you should be looking for? as I always mention in these live streams, you and your company should have a compliance baseline, or at least a baseline in mind if you're going to hire externally. And because having a baseline allows you to hire in your own terms, right? So what a baseline looks like, and here are 3 practical steps. So number 1, look for the outcomes, what they are offering you. Each screening event is linked to the supplier dossier with notes and attachments, so it's a clean audit trail on tap. Number 2 is what differentiators they are offering you. Do they align logs to the Office and Financial Sanctions implementation expectations and risk tiers? And are renewals are triggered automatically? Remember that cadences, so these kind of things take time, and everybody's too busy all the time. So you cannot miss things. So some things can be automated. How many of these things are triggering automations? So you are pretty much in the safe side of prevention or predicting what is the next thing that you have to do. And talking about that is the third point, how they reduce your risk. Is the decisions are explainable later. So who check what list, what judgment, and why. So look into all these things when they are looking. We are looking to outsource information services, just to make sure that you always are reducing your risk, freeing your time, and having a good compliance, auditable year-round processes. So one action you can do today to test this is run a live test on your top 3 suppliers, UK sanctions list search plus the ownership controls note for each one, and save the log with the date, time, and identifiers. If you go through these for the top 3 suppliers in less than half an hour, you are a champion. It's not that easy. So what is an easier solution and a cheaper solution? With Paper Trail, you get your Office of Financial Sanction implementations pack ready to go, which is the aligned screening you can defend, is UK sanctions workflow, and the evidence pack ready to show risk and evidence. And evidence, remember that it includes all the reasonings. This is perfect for UK small and medium enterprises, mid-market, because you use the same control library for health and safety, and GDPR, and DVCA, and Cyber Essentials, and EPR for packaging. So there's no double entry. That is reducing the overlap by 60% and your costs by 80%. So you can imagine that actually is a massive advantage in taking this thing, because frees people's time, that makes you more assured that you are doing the right thing at the right time, and your company is less in the risk, is more in the safe side, and also saving 80% of the cost of these processes. You have all in one place. It's a continuous gap analysis. It's a clear view of what's done, what is missing, and who owns the fix before assurance inspections and reports or audits hits you. So you have a lot of control here. You can do it once, do it properly, and then move on to the things that are more interesting to you, I guess, which is grow your company and make it more profitable. So stay tuned this week as we go forward with the supplier due diligence, sanction screening, and keeping evidence audit ready year round. Yesterday, I mentioned the single supply dossier, so you can check that. There's 4-step on that. Today, we wired in sanctions reasoning, and tomorrow, we'll size the third-party bribery, fraud controls, and the risks. So join the waitlist, papertrail.com. Have a great day, and see you tomorrow. Thank you very much, and bye-bye.